What's up, everybody? It's Michael here, and today I am back with yet another Ashes of the Dam video. The last time I made a video about Ashes of the Dam, I was talking about how it wasn't that good. And I was mainly referring to people like overrating the map as like a top 10 or a top 5 map. I think in that regards, that's a little too much for me personally. Now, I totally get why some people would feel that way, but I just feel like that's just, I don't know, I just don't think it's that good. It doesn't really do anything too innovating or new or really exciting to get a top 10 caliber map or even a top 5 map. Now, what I did say in that video is, if we're talking about launch maps, we have a conversation. And that's the conversation I would like to have today. Is Ashes of the Dam one of the best launch maps Call of Duty Zombies has ever seen? Let's take a deep dive and let's discuss if this map really holds the candle of launch maps. If you like what I do, please hit the like button and comment. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on that notification bell icon to get future updates on my videos. And don't forget, it's all free and it keeps me putting out content like this. Now, over the course of the history for Call of Duty Zombies, we have had plenty of day one launch maps, obviously, right? From the likes of Shadows of Evil, which is complex, jam-packed full of content, but it's essentially a Mob of the Dead sequel as your day one map. That can be very off-putting to new players, to something like Kino Toten, which was fresh for zombies at the time in 2010, and it's one of the reasons why it's still iconic till this very day. Now, over the course of the history, some of the hardcore players would probably scoff at you if you dare say this is a top 5 map. Then you get to the likes of D Machina, if I'm pronouncing that right. I fucking pronounced Astra Malorium wrong in my last video. But the Machine is a very simple and more casual map than even the likes of Kino Toten. Then we look at something like TranZit, which is just held together by hopes and dreams and duct tape. How this map even released on the Xbox 360 in 2012 is a fucking miracle. But when I bring up all these maps, I think the biggest problem of all the maps I've listed is that it kind of leans one way or to the other in terms of the extreme. Whereas Kino is just basic and bare, which is more of a reflection of the time when the map released. So I don't fault Kino Toten for that map. But when I look at D Machine, I do kind of fault it because it does lean too much into that casual side, way too much. It's probably one of the most safest maps of all time, for better or for worse. Whether if you think that's right or wrong, doesn't really matter to me. I just think it leaned way too far in that. And then on top of that, it didn't even have a secondary map in the launch of Cold War. Then you look at Shadows of Evil, which lean way too hard on the complicated, complex side. And that's just a bad thing to do as your day one map because you're alienating your casual players. And then the bonus map was behind a $50 paywall. And Terminus is just kind of, it's just kind of there. It's a great map, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know what to say about it in terms of like casual or complex. It's mid, but not in the way you think I'm saying it. It's just mid in terms of that. And then I look at Ashes of the Dam, and I think it's such a perfect blend of what a casual map should be on day one and something to sink your teeth into if you want that extra content or that extra difficulty or, you know, those gameplay mechanics. I think it just has everything going for it. Like, you could so choose to get set up and take your time getting set up properly, and you would be fully set up and have the wonder weapon by as early as like round 8 or 9. That's an option to do this in this map, and that's amazing. Or you could just get straight into the game and just play casually, drive old Tessie to Generator 1, and then go to Ashwood, and then boom, you got Pack-a-Punch. Like, it's that simple. It fits those two different play styles and two different types of players so perfectly that I've never seen before in a day one map. And on top of that, most of the areas are safe and easy to survive in. You can train. You know, sometimes they can get a little hectic, but it still gets the job done. And just driving around an old Tessie is just fun for the fucking hell of it. Old Tessie is such a great component to the map, especially in terms of gameplay, it's just fun all around. I was very critical in my last video about the foggy areas and how like some of the teleporters can almost ruin Old Tessie, but not too much in a way where it like makes it useless, if that makes any sense. Like I think it hurts Old Tessie, but I don't think it completely ruins the features just because Old Tessie still has Pack-a-Punch on it. It still has the Abomination head and the Wonderwalk DG2 attached to it. And then you can just run over zombies. Like you could just fucking run over zombies. That's just a fun gameplay element. And then the Wonderwalk DG2 is such an amazing feature. I just fucking love it. And then you could just go to the foggy areas and, you know, shoot some purple cyst with your Abomination head and get some extra cool rewards or to get ahead of the game. There's just so many ways to use Old Tessie in this map that it's just such a core component and it's fun. And on top of that, what makes it so special is just how it's player controlled. It's essentially based off of the bus from TranZit, except the bus was really more of what the map wanted you to do. You were meant to ride on the bus and like hold out in the bus. Whereas Tessie is not really that. It's about free will and just killing zombies. Different types of things they're going for. And on top of that, it has the return of Ted, which is awesome. It has the cool little feature where like if you shoot Ted, he curses at you, gets mad at you, and boots you out of the truck just like he did with the bus in TranZit. That is such an awesome thing that I'm glad they didn't forget about. Overall, I'm just in love with Old Tessie. I think it's one of the best things that Treyarch has put out in a while. And then when you really think about it, it is a reused feature from like Warzone or in-game or from these other modes of Call of Duty multiplayer. Now, before you start typing in your comment section about like, oh, he's just complaining about reused assets, hold your horses there, Pipsqueak. Let me cook. I think it's great that Old Tessie is a reused asset because it still shows that Treyarch can just take something from other games and completely give it a makeover and something unique. Because this is what they used to do all the time back in the day. And I think that's kind of like my problem with some of the kill streaks in the game, like the dog and the wraps and the sentry guns. It's ported over from multiplayer, but it doesn't have that zombies flair to it. And I'm really glad that Old Tessie is a reflection of that. Like it's something that's from Warzone, but it's completely made over to get that, to give that zombie flavor to where it makes it its own thing. I just wish they were consistent about that throughout the whole mode, from armor to the score streaks to many things in the game that still have that Warzone feeling left over. I think one of the most interesting things about Ashes of the Dam is the areas of the map. The point of interest is all great. They all tell their own unique story. And I think my favorite part about these points of interest in the game is that each area you play in have different zombies models in these areas, and it's such a cool detail, and it really does add that extra oomph and extra flavor to the areas. I love how gameplay oriented these guys are, because it's not just special round and you just kill these little fuckers, these greedy little fucks. It's that if you have some valuable loot on the ground, these guys are fucking greedy. Their greed fucking sickens me. You know what I mean? It just makes me sick. Just how they can't get enough and they just eat your shit all over the floor. And I just think that's great. That's just such a cool gameplay feature that I haven't seen from Treyarch in quite some time. It's just not your usual special round. And sometimes if you don't get to them on time, they do a little dance and they just poof, disappear. And sometimes you even go without a max ammo. So there is like some clear punishments if you don't kill these fuckers. And then the other enemy in this game is the zombie bear, or Zursa, if I'm pronouncing that right. I have a history of mispronouncing things like Astramalorium. I'm probably mispronounced that again. You know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, the bear, the zombie bear, it's great. That's all I got to say. It's just visually great. Like, fighting a zombie bear? Fuck yeah. Like, how do you say no to that? That's just fucking fantastic. Now, in terms of the gameplay, I ain't got too much to say. It doesn't really, it's not that unique, I guess. I'm not seeing anything too different here. Ashes of the Dam could be one of the best launch map for zombies content. And the more I play Ashes of the Dam, the more I am leaning towards that, because it's February right now. I still gravitate towards Ashes of the Dam. I mean, I know there's only one other zombie map in the game right now, but I think there's just something about Ashes of the Dam that grabs me. And I think it's mostly due to the fact of just how much gameplay content there is. If you take your time to get set up in this game, you could easily get like set up for like most of the truck by like round 8 through like 12. And I think that's such a great thing about this map. You do get rewarded for doing that. Or if you just want to turn your brain off and just go through the motions of the map, you could do that too and still have just as much fun. I think there's such a variety to this map, especially when it comes to Klaus. Like, Klaus is back. That's an awesome thing to have. Or the Wonder Weapon. The Wonder Weapon is so addicting to use that I have to make a separate video on this because I just love it so much. It's such an addicting thing to use. It's probably one of my favorite Wonder Weapons of the modern era of Treyarch zombies, and maybe even past that. I just have so much fun using it. And I gushed about old Tessie enough, but I have to do it again. It's just one of the core things that makes this map so fucking fun to me. There's just so much to this map, especially for a casual player or a more, you know, hardcore player for the Easter eggs and the cursed Easter eggs. There's just so much to do with this map. So in terms of best launch maps, I can have that conversation. I can talk about that and I can agree with that conversation. So all in all, Ashes of the Dam is probably one of the most perfect gameplay-esque maps you want to put in a zombies game for your day one content. And I think it's definitely going to be a memorable map in the long run. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Ashes of the Dam in terms of my good boy side and my good review side. So how about you get into that comment section, right? Let's have a chit chat and discussion about Ashes of the Dam. And furthermore, why don't you go ahead and join my Discord? Join the Discord. It's an awesome Discord. It's my Discord for one. And two, you could shoot the shit, talk some shit, we can play some games, we can just do whatever. Just join that fucking Discord, man. Let's get in there. Let's just shoot the shit. You know what I mean? What is your thoughts again on Ashes of the Dam? Let me know in the comments down below. I would really appreciate it if you interact with the video, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm close to 600 subscribers. So why don't you hit that subscribe button for me? Anyways, my name is Michael. I'll see you in the next video.